Today, we're making a Massaman potato curry using only supermarket ingredients, keeping all the layered flavors without letting the shopping stop us. We start with the spices. We have coriander for the citrusy freshness, cumin for the musky depth, together balancing the warmth that's about to hit us. Cinnamon for some deep warmth, clove for some almost medicinal-like sweet pungency, nutmeg for some perfumed, slightly bitter warmth, white pepper for some gentle heat, chili powder of your choice for some heat, traditionally whole spices pounded by hand, today in powdered form to make it easy. We lightly toast in a dry pan to reactivate their essential oils and to deepen their flavors. Now the aromatics. Massaman is the only major coconut-based Thai curry where lemongrass and galangal are merely background notes, not just because of the spices, but because of the long cooking time. The citrusy top note and peppery sharpness are heat sensitive. After an hour, we'd be left with some background earthy note. I'm not saying not to use them, but don't let the background note stop you either. On that note, we have onion or shallot to form our savory base and provide some subtle sweetness, garlic for some umami and caramelized sweetness. If you want to go the extra mile, pound them into a paste. Now let's make a curry. Cold pot, the only mandatory ingredient, coconut milk goes in. Bring it to a gentle simmer. Now, in a supermarket, coconut milk varies. It will be irresponsible for me to give you a measurement. But what are we looking for? We're going to evaporate all of the water content, so that doesn't matter. We will be left with some solids one way or another, so we will have flavors. Most importantly, we want the coconut fat, the soul of any coconut-based curry. So let's solve for the fat. In total, you want to aim for 3% fat relative to the weight of your potatoes. So it doesn't matter what coconut milk you have. It might take you a bit longer to reduce, but we'll end up with the same thing. So don't let the shopping stop you. Once you're getting this thick consistency, aromatics in to impart their flavors and evaporate their moisture. And we're staying with low heat at all time. Now, once you can see the oil splitting from our paste and there's not much steam coming out, that means we've driven off most of the water content and our 3% fat is now gently frying solids of our coconut milk and our paste, developing nutty, complex flavors. Once you start to see a bit of fond developing, we incorporate our spices for them to bloom in our fat, imparting their fat-soluble flavors. We lower the heat slightly to prevent the spices from burning. Once everything is homogeneous and the fat is starting to take on this beautiful Massaman color, we start to season. You have 3 options. If you want to keep it clean, 0.6% salt of the weight of your potatoes. If you want to mimic the umami from the Thai shrimp paste, soy sauce with the same salt percentage in mind. If you want to mimic the marine funk of the shrimp paste, Worcestershire sauce. You can use one, you can use a combination. Now, potatoes in. You want to go for a medium waxy variety like Yukon Gold or Morris Piper, so they hold their shape while staying creamy inside. We give it a good mix for our flavoursome fat to coat the surface of our potatoes, modulating starch release. Now, potatoes are 80 to 85% moisture, so I could just pop the lid on and cook them through. The only problem is we'll end up with a sauce too thick and the bottom would start to catch. So, instead, we'll be very stingy with our water. I know it's pan size dependent, but no more than 1 centimeter of water. Bring this to a boil. Once you can see steam coming out, lid on, lowest possible heat, half an hour to start. After half an hour, give everything a good mix. Now, at this point, our potatoes have released all of the water content that they would release, so we can now safely build our sauce without unnecessarily diluting flavors. You can use water, you can use more coconut milk, or a combination of the two, depending on how rich you want your curry to be. So we take the opportunity to scrape the bottom of our pan to mop up all those fond, all those concentrated flavors. To go the extra mile, we throw in a few cardamom pods for some amazing yet heat-sensitive floral perfume. Lid back on, depending on the size of your potatoes, 20 minutes to half an hour. Look at that. We have a rich, flavorsome sauce thickened by nature's potato starch. Now, to finish, to mimic the palm sugar and give us some caramelized sweetness, we drizzle some honey. You can also use brown sugar for this to round the flavors. And we're placing the tamarind juice and give us some brightness, lemon juice. To make up for the lack of lemongrass, if you happen to have unwaxed lemon, lemon zest. Oh, you can almost smell the phantom galangal going in. And this is Massaman potato curry.